My guest is Laura Southall, and we're going to talk about money. And you know what? I've been retired a long time, but I find I don't need as much money to live on. How much money do you need when you go to retire?
So that is a question I get asked all of the time. How much money do I need to retire? And there's not one answer. You know, I see some of these articles and they say $1 million, $3 million. There's not a specific number. Every situation is completely different. And first of all, you need to know what it costs for you to live. And some people live a more lavish lifestyle than others. And that's okay. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. You just need to decide, first of all, what your expenses are going to be. So if you're going to be a member at a golf club and travel 4 times a year, as opposed to somebody who likes to garden and hike, then the costs are going to be different. So the first thing to figure out is, how much do I need coming in after tax every month? That's your starting place. And then you need to look at the different sources of income. So saying I need $1 million to retire, it's kind of abstract. So what you need to start with is the base. First of all, do I have a work pension? So that's a really important question, and it's often the base of many people's retirement, but some people don't have that, and that's fine. You just have to acknowledge that and work from there. So do I have a work pension? That's the next question. And then you're going to look at your government benefits. So am I eligible for CPP? Did I work and contribute to CPP, Canada Pension Plan? And what amount am I entitled to? So I think right now the monthly average in Canada is somewhere around $783 a month.
Okay,
so
that's OAS or CPP?
That's CPP.
Okay, and it's about the same for OAS.
So
Trust
OAS,
me, I know.
OAS, I think, is at $718, $718, I think, right now.
It's something like that, yeah.
So OAS is fixed.
Okay.
So Old Age Security, OAS, it's fixed. That's for everybody who's 65, as long as their income is not over $90,000 a year.
And if you're over $90,000 a year, that's what you're bringing in. I'm not going to be shedding too many tears for you.
You know, though, people do get upset when it gets clawed back.
But you're doing just fine. You know, this is for the folks that aren't doing so good.
Yeah, it's to supplement people who, yes, are earning less than $90,000.
Go back to CPP. I'm not sure about OAS, but isn't there a thing about taking it early and taking it late? If you can delay it.
The longer you delay it, the more money you get.
Right.
So the normal time to take CPP is 65, but you can take it as early as 60. And for every month that you take it earlier, it goes down by 0.6%. So if you take it for the whole 5 years early at age 60, it's going to go down by 36%. So if you were entitled to $1,000 a month, you're now going to be entitled to $640 a month. But the reverse is also true. So if you want to delay after 65, and I have clients that certainly delay after 65 because they want to keep working, you can get more. So you can delay right up to 70, and then you can get 42% more. So, I mean, in theory, the longer that you wait, the more money you get. Everybody's situation is different. So if you knew that you didn't have a very long lifespan, or you know, there's other factors involved. Some people just want to retire and they want their money. You can take it as early as 60. So CPP is the benefit that is based on how much you worked and how much you contributed from when you were 18 right up to when you retire. Okay. So everybody's number is different, and you can go on the CRA website and apply for an estimate and find out if you don't know. Where OAS is fixed. It's everybody who's lived in Canada for 10 years and is 65. So as long as they're not over that age 90 threshold, or $90,000 threshold.
Right. Now, you mentioned longevity. So is that something else you want to factor in? That, see, like in my case, I come from both sides, family, they lived good long lives.
Right.
So, into their 90s. So I'm kind of expecting,
the longer you could have delayed CPP,
Right.
The better, really, because
Yeah.
you're starting at a base. And then the base gets inflated along with inflation every quarter. So you start at a higher base, and you have that for the rest of your life. So in a perfect world, if you knew that you had good longevity in your family, then you would delay, get the higher amount, and then you're starting at that amount.
And even in just your basic planning, though, would that be something to think about if, let's say, and I know people who say, well, no male member of my family has ever lived to age 70, and I've got friends who tell me that.
Yeah.
So,
yes, that's worth thinking.
It's worth thinking about.
Yeah.
So in doing your scheduling and your planning, or should you always plan, for the hoping that you'll
hoping for the best.
Yeah, you'll beat those odds.
That's a very optimistic viewpoint.
Yeah, I wonder how.
I don't think if everybody in my family died before 70, I'd be tempted to take CPP at age 60.
Take it early and not worry so much about whether you got enough money to live on.
No. And just while we're mentioning CPP, some people in their work pensions have a bridge benefit built in. So the idea behind the bridge benefit, and is often misunderstood, is it's an extra lump of money that gets added on top of your pension if you retire before 65. And then at 65, it is removed. So often people have a bridge benefit that gets them to 65 and then it is taken away. The point of the bridge benefit is to tide them over so that they can wait to take CPP at 65. But you do not have to wait until 65. You can still take CPP at age 60, but just know that you're going to lose your bridge benefit at 65 no matter what.
Okay.
So sometimes people think, oh, I'm getting a bridge benefit, I can't take CPP early. You actually can. There's
can.
no,
Yeah, nothing that says you can't.
Yeah.
If you go back to estimating your expenses, wouldn't it be you know that you still got a mortgage, or you've got rent to pay, and there's certain things that are
fixed,
because I find that there's a lot of, it costs money to go to work.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Lunches and clothing,
hair, all
transportation,
yes.
all those things that suddenly you're not spending the money on anymore.
Yep.
Passing the hat because somebody's getting married. Just those kinds of things where the money just, and that surprised me more than anything was I just had more money in my pocket at the end of the week.
Even dry cleaning. There's so many things. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the first step is to estimate your expenses, but then you're going to look at your work pension, understand your bridge benefit. Then you should know about CPP, how much you're entitled to. So say you have a work pension that's $2,000 a month, then you're getting the Canadian average for CPP, which is $783, and then you're getting $718 from OAS. So now you've got $1,500 coming from the government. You've got $2,000 from your work, so now you've got $3,500 coming in, but maybe your expenses are $5,000. So then this is where your investment accounts come into play.
Okay.
So now you've got to make up $1,500 a month to get to your expenses. So then you've got your RSP, your TFSA, or a non-registered account. So now you need to make those accounts generate $1,500 a month to make up the shortfall. And for some people, it's not just the $1,500. Like maybe they want an extra $10,000 once a year to take a trip to Florida for a month or something like that. So there could be a lump sum factored in as well. So then you need to figure out how much do I need from my investments, and then how much return am I going to make in my investments? Will the return generate enough to pay me that $1,500 for the rest of my life?
And hint, unless you have a great deal of money, putting it in a savings account won't do it.
No, it won't.
No,
well, it just won't keep up with inflation.
It won't.
Right?
You're going to have to do something else, and that's where people like you come in.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
helping them come up with a plan and helping them to invest their money so that it grows, so your money makes money.
That's right.
Yeah.
So it'd be pretty reasonable to think that you could make your money make 5% a year. So if you had $1 million invested, then you're earning in growth $50,000 a year. So you could take $50,000 a year and add it to your retirement lifestyle and you would never touch your principal. And for some people, that's really important. They want to not touch their principal.
Yeah.
For other people, they say, you know, I don't have kids, or I don't care if my kids inherit. So then they could take from their principal. So if you had $1 million invested, you could maybe take $100,000 a year and add it to your lifestyle, but you're going to deplete your principal over time. Right?
And the whole trick is that you don't run out of money before you run out of time.
Yes.
Isn't that the trick?
And that is the problem too, that we are living longer and longer.
Yeah.
Right?
That's right. Hallmark doesn't make happy 100th birthday cards unless there's a market for them. and you can buy them.
And
wow.
in my family, the women live a really long time. Everybody's into their 90s.
Yeah.
And historically, that hasn't been the case. So the planning needs to, now we plan to age 100 when we're running retirement plans.
It used to be, a few years ago it was 90, and then I think it was 95.
It was 88 when I started.
When you started.
And that was 13 years ago.
And now we've
upped it.
We're talking about 100.
Yeah.
Wow. So much to consider, but I think the whole bottom line is start thinking about it, and it's never too early to start thinking about it because it comes up faster than you think it will.
It comes up so fast.
It does.
Yeah.
And you might find at age 55 that things happen and you finally you decide to retire. It comes up fast.
Well, and the thing is, if you can choose to work instead of have to work, it makes work much more pleasant.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming in today.
Oh, you're welcome anytime.
See you again soon.